Hi, I'm Chip Stites, and this is the Laughing Retirement. Today, we're going to take a look at a question that I've been asked often since I got here in Italy. I've been asked at IL conferences, International Living Magazine conferences. I've been asked by friends in the US. I've been asked online. That question is it safe to live in Italy? Now, I've put off answering it. And I've put off answering this question for a very simple reason. Because to me, if you live in the US and you look around at all, you'd realize you're not in a safe place. That's one of the reasons we moved. Now, let me give you some statistics. From 2016 to 2020, Italian average crime rates declined 8.33% per year on average. At the same time, from 2016 to 2022, crime rates in the United States rose 9.26%. Now, just before we left the United States, we were robbed. My wife lost her brand new wedding ring. 3 days later, the police showed up. He was nice, he was apologetic, he was helpful. And when I asked him, do I have any chance of getting this back? He smiled at me and he said, "Sir, your ring was broken down, the stones were taken out that night, and that night, before the next sun rose the next morning, they were most likely in Mexico." He smiled and he said, "Listen, there are 4 of us on this detail. We have roughly 100 burglaries a week. My chances of finding your stones, your rings, your gold don't exist." Now, the place we lived was one of the top 10 most violent cities in the country. And it's not even a big city, less than 500,000. So what happens in a big city? The World Population Review says that Italy is ranked 56th out of 138 countries. The lower the number, the safer the country. The United States is ranked 69th out of 138. Right in the middle, halfway. Italy is below that. Italy, according to the World Population Review, is much less risky than the US. Now, we've walked all over Rieti at all hours of the day and nights. I've taken pictures at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning on a Friday or Saturday night. And I never felt threatened. I walk around any part of Rieti and I have never felt threatened. There were parts of my hometown in the United States I wouldn't walk around in. Is it safe to live in Italy? Italy's a big country, just like the United States. Italy's about a fifth of the population of the United States. Size-wise, it's not very big, but it's got some big cities. Milan, Rome, Naples. Those are well-known cities. We walked around Venice when we were there at all hours. One morning, I think we got home at 2:30 after a late dinner. We bumped into policemen asking directions all the time. We'd had a few drinks. Did I ever feel threatened in any way at any time by anybody? No. But would I walk that way under those conditions in Milan, where I wasn't sure where I was, or in Rome, or in Florence, or in Naples? No, I would not. See, a big city is a big city is a big city. And the difference between the crime in Italy and the crime in the United States is the crime in the United States is more likely to be violent. The crime in Italy is more likely to be petty crime, as in boosting a wallet or stealing a purse or stealing a backpack or something like that. That is more likely to happen in Italy than in the US. In Italy, the school children do not have to go through a metal detector. Here in Rieti, I have dropped my wallet in the middle of the street and had it returned to me. If you walk down the street, you'll see cars with their keys in them. If you go into the countryside and you look around at houses, you'll notice that sometimes the keys are in the houses. And I've actually taken pictures of that. Rocco Sinibalda was an example of where I saw that. I've seen that in Rieti. I've seen that in various places around Italy, in the small towns. Now, does that mean there isn't crime? No. That means there's a hugely different attitude about where people live and the crime in those places here in Italy than there is in the United States. Now, another example might be that the United States has a higher prison population than anywhere else in the world. Violent crimes are more prevalent in the United States than they are in Italy. Does that mean violent crime doesn't happen? No, it doesn't. But guns are legal in the United States. They're illegal here in Italy. You have to have a permit here to buy a gun. You have to have a permit to store a gun. You have to have a permit to carry a gun. And you have to have a permit to hunt. But constitutionally, you can't just have a gun. It's a different country. It's a different set of safety rules. Now, should you protect yourself and your belongings if you're in a large city? Yes, you should. Always. I don't care whether you're in New York, San Francisco, Rome, or Milan. I don't care. But it makes a great deal of sense when you're asking yourself, is it safe in Italy? To answer yes, it's much safer in Italy, statistically, violent crime-wise, risk of your life-wise, in Italy than in the United States. So I hope you'll consider that when you next consider, do I want to move to Italy? Do I want to live in a large city in the United States or a large city in Italy? No, I don't. I would rather live in a small town. We live in a town of less than 50,000 people. It is considered one of the safest places in Italy. It's an agricultural community. It's got a history that goes back to Rome. It's got the largest aquifer in Europe, actually, that produces 90 million liters a minute of water, fresh, clean water, most of which goes to Rome. You're looking at a fountain in Rome, you're looking at Rieti's water. Now, I don't know how else to answer the question, is it safe to live in Italy? The answer to the question is much safer to live in Italy than in the US. The difference between the two? There's a higher probability of being shot or being involved in a violent crime in the United States than there is in Italy. In Italy, there's a higher probability of getting your wallet stolen or getting your purse stolen or getting something off the cart when you're moving through a tourist area, off and on a train, getting a baggage taken. That's the kind of crime that happens in Italy. I don't believe that the question of safety in Italy should come up beyond the idea that you have to take care of what you're wearing. You can't just loosely have your wallet out of your back pocket. You put it either inside and zip it up in a jacket, or you wear your money belt inside your shirt. It's safer to live in Italy than it is in the United States. Thanks. I'm Chip Stites. I hope I've answered this question. Creator and founder of The Laughing Retirement. Enjoy.